Hey there, in today's lesson we're going to look at more factoring of polynomials. Um, so last day we looked into, or last lesson we looked into factoring polynomials using algebra tiles. So this page is a review of that, or this section is a review of that. And in this particular case we used algebra tiles to show that x minus 3 is, or multiplied by 2x plus 1 equals 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Sorry, negative 5x minus 3. So that's what this is showing here. And we can always check what we think it is by expanding our two binomials again. So that's a review of the algebra tiles. Today we're going to look at doing more factoring but not using algebra tiles. To start that off, I just want to point out a pattern that we can see when we're multiplying binomials. So the pattern is this. When we multiply the first terms, so x times x, we get x times x is equal to x squared. And so for this particular method we're learning today, we're looking for only situations where there's x times x equals x squared. We're not talking about something that equals 3x squared or 2x squared. We're not dealing with that. We're just dealing with the case of 1x squared. So only when these two are singular x's. Okay, so that's the first part of the pattern. The second part of the pattern is that when we multiply the next ones, we go x times 3 here, and 2 times x. And we get a total of 5x. So the pattern is when we add up the two whole numbers in those binomials, we get the second term of the trinomial. And the third part of the pattern is when we multiply the two whole numbers together, we get, in this case, we get 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So here's the resulting trinomial. So we have a single x squared. This is the addition of the two whole numbers, and this is the multiplication of the two whole numbers. That's the pattern. Alright, now let's do another example, and this time we're going to sort of think backwards to come up with the factors. So we're going to start with the trinomial x squared plus 8x plus 15. What two terms multiply to get x squared? So we're dealing with this kind of situation. The next thing we want to think about is what two whole numbers when multiplied give plus 15. So I show that here. There's four options. 1 times 15, negative 1 times negative 15, 3 times 5, and negative 3 times negative 5. And then the third thing we're going to think about is when we add the two terms of the binomial together, which ones will add up to 8? So if we have 1 and 15, they would add up to 16. If we had negative 1 and negative 15, we get negative 16. If we had 3 and 5, we'd have 8. If we had negative 3 and negative 5, we had negative 8. So we're looking for two whole numbers, multiply, give 15, and when added together, give 8. That tells us this section here tells us the whole numbers in the binomials. So x plus 3 times x plus 5 should give us x squared plus 8x plus 15. And we can check that with doing our distributive property. So x squared plus 5x plus 3x plus 15. That's x squared plus 8x plus 15. And I'd say check, that works. Okay, so again, just to highlight, when the factors have the form x plus something, x plus something, and then maybe I can highlight that. Okay, let's move on to the two more examples. Okay, factor the trinomial x squared minus 5x minus 14. So I'm looking for two whole numbers when multiplied together give negative 14. So here are the four different options for that. And I'm also want to know which ones when those whole numbers are added up they give negative 5. So we have negative 1 and 14, we get 13. We have 1 and negative 14, we get negative 13. We have negative 2 and 7, we get 5. And we have when we have negative 2 and 7, we get 5. And we have 2 and negative 7, we get negative 5. And we're looking for negative 5, which is this guy. So I would say to factor this trinomial, we could use those in our two binomials. So we have x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 7. And we can expand this to double check. So we have x times x is x squared. X times negative 7 is negative 7x. 2 times x is plus 2x. And 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. That gives us x squared minus 5x minus 14. Check. Sweet. Alright, next one. Factor the trinomial 4x squared minus 12x minus 40. Alright, so straight off the bat we can't use this method we're just looking at, because the method we have only works when the term in front of the x squared is 1. We can't do this, we only want this. However, looking at this question, I can see that we can factor out a GCF. The greatest common factor in all these terms is 4. I can see that. We can divide that by 4, this by 4, that by 4. And we do that, we get 4 times the trinomial x squared minus 3x minus 10. So now let's just concentrate on this trinomial. We want two whole numbers when multiply give negative 10. So here's a list of those ones. And when we add up those whole numbers, these are the sums we get. And we're looking for something that sums up to negative 3x, or negative 3 I guess, which is this. That tells me these are the two terms used in the binomials. So x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 5. We can double check that. So, oops. X squared minus 5x plus 2x minus 10. So that gives me negative 3x minus 10. Okay, that checks out with that. So now we can rewrite this whole thing as if we have 4x squared minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 4 times x plus 2 x minus 5. And there we have it. That's been factored. If you have any questions or whatever, come see me in class. Otherwise, please do some of these practice questions. Good luck.